Sorry about being so late here, guys. I had an issue with my computer wanting me to wait until things had been uploaded to the cloud. So I apologize for being basically a half hour late on this. It is time, though, to do a little update on our striking actors and the writers that are joining them as the writers had joined them earlier. We are now at 102 days of the actors strike with 160,000 members strong, all waiting to be offered a contract that is reasonable. We all want to be able to go to work and have something livable when we come home in our paycheck. And that's basically all they're fighting for right now. I did take a lot of notes, so you'll see me referring to this lovely piece of paper from time to time. And it is literally just notes to try and make sure that I cover everything that I had wanted to. For first, the AMPTP walked away with the actors 2 weeks ago because the offer that they were willing to give the guild was way off from what the guild really expected to get. It was so far there was no room to negotiate, no starting point to negotiate, and so all talks stopped. As of today, though, they are at the tables again, and we have four networks, streaming services that are at the table with our guild, hoping to start hashing out a contract that's reasonable for everybody. The four networks that are coming back to the table are NBC Universal Studios Corporation, Netflix, Walt Disney Corporation, as well as Warner Brothers. And so together, hopefully, they'll at least have a starting ground to go. Again, that last proposal was differed as far as what they would be paid by just hundreds of millions of dollars. It was too much of a gap, and hopefully they're coming back with some insight as to what's really expected by the actors, and the actors also looking at the studios and what they're able to actually offer. What the actors are asking for isn't too much, honestly. They're looking for a percentage increase for the base pay for the actors who are just getting into the business, for those who don't have a reputation yet to be hired. They need to be able to step into this career and be able to afford the base minimum. And so an 11% increase from the base now is what they're looking for. Again, if they're so underpaid, that 11% does not seem so unreasonable, especially since revenue is now coming in from different sources than they had been when the contractor originally negotiated 15 years ago, would cover. And so they also wanted, and this was another big problem, is the protection against AI basically taking over their careers, with the ability for studios to mock up an actor without actually having to hire or pay them. We're talking about eventually not seeing that art being respected, being worth pursuing for people who want to do it for a career. Working actors, it is a thing, and they need a base pay, they need a regular pay, and they need to be able to know they're going to be able to get jobs. If they sign over their likeness for one project, they need to know it's not going to be used on all projects from then on. There need to be some regulations. And so while they, I should say, are trying to find a middle ground, a place to come together, the A-listers came up with a different suggestion. Bigger names like George Clooney and Tom Cruise, the bigger names that do bring in quite a bit of money on each project. The idea being that they would pay larger dues to the guild to help make up some of the difference in how much the actors who are again getting started or are working actors get paid. This was sort of laughed out of the suggestion box. The guild did not like this idea, and I can see why. The point of a union is that everybody is an equal set, and well, I can see why in some unions it would work. It puts people in a weird position, and it's not up to the actors to make up the difference for the fact that the studios don't want to pay them. So I can see why that was turned down for a couple of reasons. It's on the networks to pay the actors. Now, the funniest thing about all this, while they're all discussing it and we're waiting for news, is that an email was sent out to the Guild concerning Halloween of all things. How would the actors' strike be affecting Halloween? The simple truth is, the email asked that the actors and affiliates not dress up as any characters from major studio productions. And that to me seems like the most unreasonably silly request ever. It's Halloween. I mean, people have families, their kids are going to want to dress up as major characters from Star Wars, from Disney films, from horror films. It's ridiculous to say that on Halloween you shouldn't let yourself or your kids dress up in a costume that they choose. That's kind of the whole point. And what I love about this very strange suggestion is that one of the old head honchos of the guild, Melissa Gilbert, I know her as Half Pint Beth or Laura Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. She had a very interesting and I love the response, very colorful response. And I wanted to read it for you. This is what you guys come up with, she says. And I am quoting the New York Times here. This is what you guys come up with, Gilbert says on Instagram. Literally, no one cares what anyone wears for Halloween. I mean, do you really think this kind of infantile stuff is going to end the strike? We look like a joke. And it is a really just a dopey thing to suggest. It's Halloween. Get over it. Nobody's getting paid to dress up as Elsa. So it and while we're all supposed to keep our streaming services so that what revenue the actors can make still comes in, it seems awfully silly not to allow people, you and I, fans, children, and yes, even the actors dress up as other production characters as it's Halloween. So that's all I'm going to say about that. You don't mess with Halloween. Halloween also happens to be my anniversary with my husband and myself. So you don't mess with Halloween. That's my one rule. Now, as far as delays on productions, there is a new list of some of the productions that are absolutely going to be out later than expected. And the first one on that list, not unexpectedly, is Mission Impossible, the newest, what is it? I don't even know what we're up to, but the newest Mission Impossible movie is not going to be out in 2024 as expected. We'd already been told there was going to be a delay on that. However, it's going to be yet another year later than we were previously told. So we're looking for Tom Cruise's newest spy game to come out sometime in 2025. Now, the thing is that again, it's not the only show, and I do have a bit of a list here. So, films like Disney's Marvel's Blade and Fantastic Four are already pushed back by several months. Avengers, The Kane Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars have been delayed by yet another year. Paramount's SpongeBob SquarePants adventure has been pushed back to May of 2025. And real quick, just so we know who's getting credit for this, this information is coming from bbc.co.uk News Entertainment. And that link, along with the other sources, are going to be found below. Let's see, Disney's live action version of its animation movie Lilo and Stitch, which my daughter was very much looking forward to, has also been moved back, and Moana is shifted to June 2025, according to this article. The third film in James Cameron's Avatar series now is looking like December of next year, or not next year, 2025. I'm forgetting what year we're in. This is getting so silly. And let's see, Paddington in Peru. Oh my goodness, is also set to come out later, but not until November of 2024. It looks like November 8th is what it's they're shooting for as of now. Again, this stuff could all change, and we really don't know when we might hear news. Even after the actors have gotten a contract, it could be time. It could be some time before we see anything new. Now, also some TV series mentioned in this article is The Last of Us, Euphoria, and we've already heard about Stranger Things, and The White Lotus. They've also been affected, so we're going to be looking at later dates for pretty much everything Well, everything that it wasn't already finished in production. Now, what this means for us poor folks who are just waiting for shows to come on, it means we should enjoy those streamings while we're allowed to use them. Those of us who are trying very hard to support the actors' strike. I think I've watched way too much television lately because I'm trying to catch up on everything before I have to cancel and support. But let's see, now, another proposal as to how to make up the difference in what revenue is coming in and what the actors are asking for was to, what was this? And everyone is increase. Yeah, okay. So to increase subscribers, let me see. I want to read this just right. Ask for, okay, after the talks broke down last time, the guild asked for a 57-cent subscriber fee for all platforms. And I know we don't like to hear about another increase. However, if you've noticed, pretty much every place is increasing. Paramount is increasing. I think who else gave me an increase notice like in the last few months? We've had some notices for increased payment for our subscriptions that are dollars more, which, a few dollars if you're keeping on budget is fine. I don't see how an extra 57 cents would affect subscriptions terribly. If you're already willing to pay an extra $2 more and you're choosing which subscriptions you want to keep, then 57 cents might be worth it to you and I to keep these shows on, to keep the ones we enjoy coming back, have them come back soon. But I don't know if we're allowed to really voice that or not. I'm voicing that I don't mind a 57-cent increase, even if that means I have to get rid of one or two of the streaming services I don't really use that much. I've been considering it anyway. The only reason I haven't canceled is because right now we can afford a little bit of extra. We do tend to watch a little bit of all of our streaming services, which is why we have them. And two, we were told not to cancel yet, and I'd rather, if I'm going to cancel everything at once so we can make a nice impact later on. So I've kept my streaming services, and I don't think that I would mind too much paying 57 cents more for the ones that I really use, I really enjoy. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about less than a 60-cent increase, and I do believe this would be monthly. So just like any of our other subscriptions, so I don't see how that would make a huge difference. Let's see. Now, again, this is a live, and I'm just wanted to make sure I got this on today simply because our strikers are talking today, our networks are talking today. Now, I will say one more thing before I do head off. Yes, I'm nearly done, so if you're tired of listening to me talk, you can go up, cool. But I wanted to say something about Fran Drescher before I go. She has gotten a little bit of criticism because of the way she's going after these increases, the way she is negotiating so hard and not giving much leeway for the networks to or the AMPTP to get away with much. And she has been quoted as saying something to the effect of she's doing this for her legacy, not her legacy, but for the actor's legacy. She's fighting this hard for the kids now who are coming up, who are maybe on stage in their drama class, and in 5 years are hoping to try to make it in Hollywood, in New York, wherever. And so she's fighting for herself and the actors there now, but she's also trying to make it sure that the actors that come into the business in the next decade aren't back exactly where she is right now, fighting to get a pay that is livable. So I know I finish these off a lot of times saying support your strikers. Absolutely support them, but support the people who are leading the fight. They're trying to make sure that we can get quality like we used to. It's gotten a little iffy lately with so few people in the writers' room, and we got that the writers back writing, and hopefully the changes they needed. So it is time to make sure that again our quality can be good in the films we get, because the actors know they're going to get paid. They aren't worrying about 90 other things. They can concentrate on the character they're trying to bring to life, the story that they're trying to tell. And so we need to keep in mind the leaders, keep in mind the little guys, and keep in mind the fact that the A-listers were trying to bring up a proposal that could help get things rolling, and it's just not what they want. They want the networks to pay up. So if you'd like to support our actors while they are fighting tooth and nail to get what they deserve, again, there'll be some links below to try and assist in the ways you can. Keep an eye out for anything you can do to support any strikers in your area, whether they're the Actors Guild or if they are motor creators, anybody, because every time a group strikes to get fair pay, the pay average raises, which means that it will and could very well trickle down to wherever you are, wherever you're working. And when other people are treated fairly, it means that you have a likelihood of being more respected and treated more fairly in your job. So in closing, support our actors. They're working their butts off. Support any strikers because they're also working their butts off, and it can benefit you in a roundabout way, whether it's because we'll finally get quality entertainment, quality vehicles, or a quality paycheck. Support your strikers. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I very much apologize for being so late. The cloud, it's an annoying thing. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more about the strike, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I have random videos coming out live a lot lately because of time constraints. And I do want to thank anybody who waited the 30 minutes for me to come on. I really appreciate it. And I also want to thank anybody who has, up to this point, donated in some form to our strikers to help them get along, to pay their bills, to survive until they are paid a survivable wage. Thanks so much for joining me again, and I don't think I have anything extra to share at this moment. Keep an eye out for more videos coming out this week. I'm trying to work on a funny puppy montage because I have silly puppies, but actual information should be coming as well. Thanks so much for joining me again. And thanks to my Patreons, thanks to my members, and I will see you again for the next video.